When I first heard that Jennifer Lawrence was going to be in a raunchy comedy, I thought to myself, I don't think it's going to work. Then I saw the trailers and thought, you know what, it might work, but I'm not sure. Then I saw the movie, and it works. So No Hard Feelings is a new comedy that just came out this week, starring Jennifer Lawrence as the main character, who the story revolves around her trying to get a car because her other car has been impounded and she just needs a car to pay off her debt and keep her house. So she sees an ad on Craigslist that says, hey, come date our teenage son, and in exchange for helping him overcome his awkwardness, we will give you a car. And it sounds like a super silly premise, and it kind of is a super silly premise, and it absolutely works, though. I mean, it's a very fun story, and let's talk about the leads real quick. Obviously, Jennifer Lawrence, Academy Award-winning actress, one of the best actresses in the game at only 32 years old, younger than me. She still crushes it. She is awesome in pretty much anything she's in, and I think doing comedy like this really works for her. It was a bit of a surprise, and I think she absolutely knocked this one into the stratosphere. It was a good, fun performance by her, but it helps that she had a male lead opposite her that was really good too, and that's Andrew Barth Feldman, who plays Percy in the film, and he's the awkward kid who, socially awkward, doesn't really have a lot of friends, never really been with a girl, so it's up to Jennifer Lawrence's character Maddie to get him out of his shell in order for her to get that car. But of course, Percy doesn't know about it, and that's where the hijinks and the comedy ensues. Their comedy is so great, and I think Andrew Feldman, he brings a lot of great, fun stuff that allows Jennifer Lawrence. They play off each other really well in the movie, and it's some of the best chemistry I've seen in like a romantic comedy slash, raunchy comedy in a while. So they're absolutely, the focal point of this film, and everything they do is great in this film, pretty much. There's some stuff that happens in the third act I wasn't crazy about, but it's a story and everything. It's it's pretty bare bones. It's almost like they were torn between doing this raunchy comedy and also making it kind of a raunchy indie comedy, because there's times where you're getting backstory on the character. Jennifer Lawrence's character specifically, she's got a lot of backstory that's kind of interesting, and why she's kind of feeling stuck and living in this town her whole life, and why she isn't really leaving it. She's like holding on to this house that her mom gave her. And so they start to kind of delve into that. And while I think they give enough explanation, while I think they develop stuff to a point, it would have actually been nice maybe to go a little further. I would have liked to have been, introduced to some more elements of Maddie's past that they kind of were alluding to and dealing with. But they, made their choices, which are fine. And I think they ended up with a result that I think not a lot of people complain about. I just think that her character could have been a whole lot more interesting had we dived into some more stuff. It's like they got to that point and they're like, well, let's not go too far, because then we're getting into indie territory. Let's keep it back. It's a comedy. Let's just keep it moving, which I get to an extent. And like I said, it works. Jennifer Lawrence's comedic timing is great. They put her in situations that are a lot of fun and quirky and absurd. There's a scene in the trailer that we've all seen where they're skinny dipping, and I'll just say one of the best scenes in the movie because it catches you off guard. It's a little shocking and very funny, and it continues on from there, and I don't want to spoil it because it's definitely worth checking out. This will be the scene that this movie is known for, I think, from now until the end of time. Is when you hear about no hard feelings, it's going to be the skinny dipping scene and what happens around that. So a lot of fun there. Look, it's a good time. Great jokes, great setup. My problem really with this film comes in the third act where, everything's absurd to a point throughout the movie. But in the third act, they really get crazy with something. I'm just like, come on. You were almost in the realm of believability for 2/3 of this movie in terms of some of the weird kind of hijinks that these characters get into. I can almost believe it to a point. But then just something happens at the very, very end of the film. And it's very similar to something that happens at the beginning of the film. But I just felt like the second time around, it just didn't work. And it wasn't as funny. And I was just like, this is just utterly ridiculous. And there would be some consequences to the actions of this set of events. but I digress. So between it being very predictable, you know, it's a raunchy rom-com, which I'm pretty sure from the get-go you can kind of see where the movie is going. It is almost laid out for you, beat for beat, when characters are going a certain way, when the big secret may or may not get revealed. You kind of feel it coming. It's telegraphed. You've seen it done 100 times. But what makes this stand out and makes this fun is Jennifer Lawrence's performance and Andrew Feldman's performance. They are great, and I think this is one worth checking out. I didn't have a high bar for this film, so I was pleasantly surprised by this. And at the end of the day, I'm going to give this a solid B. I think it's worth checking out. It's a lot of fun. Take some friends, have some beers, check this film out. It is a good time at the theater. So now's the time where I ask you guys if you could please hit that like button, subscribe button, the little bell notification to be notified whenever I drop new videos. It would be greatly appreciated. And of course, leave your guys' comments. Have you seen this film? Do you want to see this film? What's keeping you from seeing it? Let me know in the comments down below. What are some of your favorite raunchy comedies? I'd be very curious to hear about that. And until the next review, guys, I'll be seeing you.